Yes, and as promised, we are now back. I think we're now a minute late, but that's not an issue because we're really good with time management here. We always manage. And thank you again for being here, for choosing this session, the next one coming up. It's again, we're going to talk about vacation rental. We touched upon this in the last session, right, with Mary Lee. And it is a vast, fragmented, and highly competitive area. And the next panel will explore with us together how the latest technology trends are shaping this particular space. And I'm absolutely thrilled. Again, I'm thrilled about all my guests because they're handpicked. I promise you it's the best of the best. Please welcome with me on stage, as I call him on stage, we have Valentin Gruber, COO of Home2Go, and we have the Group Chief Product Officer at Aways, Martin Rovsing, and the Senior Director of Vacation Rental Partnerships, EMEA at Expedia Group. This is wrong. James Cassidy. I have a wrong note. James, I know your name. Please take a seat. It's lovely to have you. Well, first off, yes, applause, please. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for the invite.
Yes, and now look at that. I mean, we're very fast in adapting usually, but today we're not. So our apologies. This is not Patrick Andre, but he will be representing Home2Go. Just the same great way.
Yes, Patrick sends his apologies. Unfortunately, he's not feeling well, and so it was a very spontaneous switch.
Well, we're
I
excited
hope to
have
make up
you.
for it.
No, welcome. I mean, we don't mind. Great to have you. And to make this like properly, right, like in the earlier session as well, let's quickly go through the round, right, so we know who we have here on stage and who we're actually talking to. So, James, you're representing Expedia Vrbo, the platform for vacation rental. Do you want to give us a brief introduction about yourself and what you're most excited about today?
Yeah, so I've been in vacation rentals online for now 19 years. Does anyone beat me? Yeah, very good, very good. I'm glad I'm not the oldest.
We learned last year from you. You said you are not an important player, you are a fundamental player in the vacation rental space.
Foundational.
Foundational and fundamental.
Favo Direct is our German brand, and we have many, Abratel in France. Very excited to be here again, very excited to be on stage with you, Leah.
Thank you again for joining. I'm excited about that. Martin Rovsing, about you. You are in Hall 9 with Aways, right? It's one of the leading companies in Europe. Tell us a bit about yourself and Aways.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm Martin. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Aways, which means I'm responsible for all our digital services facing both guests and owners. Very excited to be here. Thank you. I don't think Aways is not a very well-known brand out there because it's not a consumer-facing brand. It's the umbrella company for some very large brands in the vacation rentals industry. Novasol, Cottages.com, and Ho Seasons, among others. And combined, we're actually Europe's largest managed vacation rentals business.
Well, we're excited to have you, and I saw some in the audience nodding. So the brands absolutely tick the boxes. And then Valentin, I still have the note here, so I don't call you Patrick. Home2Go is a software as a service-based enabled marketplace, and you have the largest selection of vacation rentals on your platform. And you were one of the first ones to adopt AI, right? I remember Patrick being very keen to talk about that. Do you want to give us a brief intro about yourself?
I think, thank you very much. Yes, so my name is Valentin. I'm CEO of the group. And you just did the perfect introduction. Yes, we are a vacation rental player. We have the largest selection of vacation rentals. We also have a B2B segment with service and software solutions, which is likewise even faster growing. And very excited to be here and to have this discussion with you.
Thank you. Well, the same. And I mean, we don't have, I always would love to have an entire day for this because I always feel whenever I start talking to these folks in the prep calls that there's so much to unpack that time is just not enough that we have. So we have to make it very concise, right? And we probably not be able to cover everything. But let's start with the state of the industry, right? So what would you say? How is tech reshaping vacation rentals, and how has technology reshaped the vacation rental industry in the recent years? And James, let's start with you as a foundational partner in the industry, being around for quite some years from the early days, and your bird's view of the market. What are you seeing? What has changed in the past years?
Yeah, I mean, the past years in terms of demand trends have been very interesting. Vrbo Expedia Group has grown through acquisitions. So Vrbo itself did over 20 acquisitions of different vacation rental companies, including Favo Direct. All of the panelists understand this story. We've grown through acquisitions. Expedia then acquired Vrbo and did another 20 of their own acquisitions. And so the biggest the biggest tech change for us in the last years has been re-platforming all of these acquisitions onto a common tech stack to enable product feature rollout at scale. That's been the biggest challenge, and we want to be able to roll out product features across all our brands to all our sites in a very efficient way. And so the amount of calories consumed by the engineering team to bring those disparate sites and businesses onto the single tech stack to then scale product features has been the biggest tech investment of Expedia for the last several years.
Right. I think that's the keyword of consolidation I hear there. And then Martin Aves, you said in the prep call, is a fast follower of everything that's happening. And you're consolidating a lot of legacy systems, right, within your ecosystem. What are the biggest tech pain points that you're seeing at the moment with your property managers or even yourself?
Correct. We are a proud fast follower, and we're going through very much a similar journey as maybe at a slightly smaller scale, but still a similar journey as Vrbo and Expedia. We're a company with heritage. We're combining three large companies that are more than 60 years old, the three of them, and they plus a number of other acquisitions. To one single platform, and the old companies sit on old technology, old legacy stacks, and I think the biggest pain point is for the same reason, it gives us some scale advantages to be on a single stack, but the biggest pain point is we cannot do this in one go.
Right.
It's something our engineers are working on over years. We cannot, and we shouldn't do it in one go. So as we innovate in the front end and make use of AI enhancements, it still has to be backward compatible to a number of old services. And I think probably people in the room that have same types of experiences. That's the biggest pain point at the moment.
Right. So would you prefer to have it faster then? Would you go for the sprint rather than the marathon?
Always faster.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, and Valentin, you've seen AI's impact firsthand, right, with Home2Go, and you also pushed this, like, also in your narrative a lot. How is AI moving beyond just the hype at the moment in the industry? I mean, it is still a media tagline, buzzword, but tell me about the reality.
I would say it is already the fastest changing and the biggest impact that our industry will have seen in a long time. So when we started working with AI solutions, this was before ChatGPT was even known by the vast majority of consumers. We had our AI mode, so the way for customers to engage with the search launched back 2 years ago. And so by now what we see is the traveler's demand is becoming a way more complex, way higher expectation setting, how fast, how personalized do I want to have my experience. And we see that in the solutions that we cater. So with a chatbot, AI Sunny, that helps, with smart summaries of the offers, but also summaries of reviews of guests, we can create these more personalized experiences for guests. And this is where we see a demand of the consumer that will be the most changing driver in this industry that we've seen in a very, very long time. And we've seen that being at the forefront of it, experimenting with it constantly, gives us a really, really nice advantage in building this, in matching this very, very high customer expectation.
Right, so the customer also is growing with your offer then, because they see that they get more and more options, and then probably the requests get more sophisticated in terms of...
Yes, and so everything that we do, we always test, and we always test it against the status quo. And so it's nice to see that AI is not just a buzzword in the media, but that AI actually proves the customer to be right, because it makes their experience better and it makes the customer therewith convert better, book more, come back to you more often. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, very interesting. And maybe a bit of a controversial question, but sometimes I think it's also interesting to reverse the whole question, right? So we talk about why tech is helping us to move forward, but is there maybe one thing you'd say that has become harder with all the technology advancements? Is there anything you see where you say, oh, that used to be easier in the past? Martin, is there anything you could think of?
I think it's about getting the balance right between automation and human interaction. When do we automate and when do we rely on human interaction? We've invested a lot in automation, especially on the post-book side. We're allowing guests to do a lot of self-service, after they've made a booking, do amendments, things like that. But often the guests just want to talk to a human being as well. It's not just because they can self-serve, doesn't mean that they want to self-serve. So it's about getting that balance right. And I think, not just us, but also some other companies out there are also going a little bit backwards here and there. Many of us have AI-driven chatbots up and running,
Right.
but I think we're seeing a little bit of a backlash from that there are consumers who just want that personal experience. So while we invest in all of that, we also need to be mindful of giving a good user experience on the human level.
Right, understood. Anything to add from your end to that part?
It's funny because we also often hear the seek of, I want to speak with a human because they understand me better. And the interesting thing is we observe the opposite. So where in our website we had before a normal AI chatbot. But with developing our own agnostic solution, we see that suddenly the escalation rate over to a human agent dropped by 40%. At the same time, where CSAT and NPS, like the customer satisfaction metrics, were way higher than before. So we see it's not the human that they desire. They still want to get to their solution, but many times, if not well built, the human is the better way there if you don't have the technology. But this is where experimenting a lot with it, constantly, like, what does the customer want? They don't want the human interaction. They want their problem to be solved. And you have to use technology the right way. You have to experiment with a lot in order to enable that. And this is where we see, yes, with our previous chatbot, it was not so easy. With the new solution, and it was still better in many ways, yeah, but the new solution is really what puts us ahead.
Maybe we should just buy yours then.
So with Home2Go Pro,
was just a deal made on stage
we make our solutions available.
One thing I'll add, Leah,
Yes,
on
please,
this.
James.
Technology has allowed the proliferation of companies supporting vacation rental property managers in particular. I was at an event last week where the number was given that there are 600 property management companies, software companies, that property managers can choose to use now. People on this stage, including us, we have a property management software company, Sacra, for example. There's now so much choice for property managers, facilitated by technology. Almost every new entrant, their USP is around AI. I think what's technology allowed is so much choice that it becomes almost difficult for the property manager to make the choice.
Sure, it's just the complexity, right, and the offer, yeah, right. That's a good point. Well, that was very interesting already, but let's talk a bit about scaling through innovation, right? And maybe we start with distribution. So James, from Expedia Group, you're working with thousands of property managers. You mentioned yourself the complexity, right, on both sides. So how would you say does smarter distribution and data-driven insights help optimize occupancy and revenue for your property managers?
Yeah, it's so key. In Europe, the last 5 years have shown such wild swings in demand, moving from very balanced international domestic to very domestic over COVID, to then more international, moving from out of cities back to cities, moving from traditional beach to more Northern European mountains. And what that's resulted in is compression trends that are not usual, and then price increases. So ADR has increased significantly over that time. New suppliers come onto the market. And often when the demand shifts away from that destination, the price remains high. And so the importance of data is greater than ever before in allowing property managers to price based on the new situation for demand for their destinations. And so Vrbo, for example, has had the Market Maker product, which gives you pricing insights on supply and demand in real time. We launched last year the Market Maker rate automation product in the US that allows a property manager to implement the insights on pricing whilst maintaining control of their prices, setting ranges, overriding prices, things like that. More important than ever, there are a lot of data from Expedia. There are so many companies that provide the data, key data, et cetera, et cetera. Using that data to price your properties most effectively when the number one traveller need 3 times in a row is what? What's the number one traveller need when they're making a booking in VR? Price. Price, low price, affordability, value. And so the property managers that are most effective in pricing and getting the value to the traveller are the property managers that will win. They need to use data. Verbo offers a solution. We're considering rolling out our rate automation in Europe as well.
Right. Okay. So we see where we can leverage data there. That's very very good point. But then it's also discussed a lot, right? How to balance direct bookings versus marketplace generated bookings. How would you approach this, Martin? Do you have an opinion on that? How to balance direct versus indirect distribution?
I do have an opinion because that's what we do every day. We invest heavily in our own brands. We prefer to get the booking through our own brands, and that's proving very successful for it. It's a lower cost channel for us to get them direct. But we're also still happy to work with marketplaces because, there are pockets of demand out there that, the likes of Home2Go and Expedia and others are just better at filling, and so that's how we approach that. Happy to use the marketplaces for those pockets.
Right, but nonetheless working on the own brand and
absolutely we can.
Yeah. What will you say, Valentin? I'm sorry. I have little Patrick here. This is very confusing. No, I'm so sorry, Valentin. It's very rude. No, do you have a take on that? Because I mean that's something that's, for example, in the hospitality space, right, for years is being discussed very intensely. Like everyone's wanting to go for direct, but then you have to also appreciate the added value that a global distribution partner can give you. What's your take on that? The balance of direct versus indirect distribution.
I widely agree, and I mean with Home2Go as a marketplace, we are a big fan of marketplaces, and we've always been developing solutions that work best at the customer. There are some things that you can do if you're a direct provider, and there are some things that you can't do. What you can't do is you can't change and tomorrow have 1 million offers on your platform because that's just not you. But what this large scale allows you is to develop solutions that, in the case of Home2Go, we are now making available to all of our partners through the Pro segment. So you can benefit from the same things that we are developing for the client. On the Pro side, we are giving them out to our partners again because we think that overall the industry needs to step up, close the gap to the large travel verticals, become more professional, become more standardized, while never losing the individuality of a home.
Yeah? Right.
And this is just however we manage for us the compromise between marketplace, always the goal to be fast and develop solutions for the consumer at the forefront, but Pro with the focus of making these solutions available to everyone in the industry.
Right, understood. Okay, and then maybe we go briefly back to AI. Martin, with Erase, like you're saying it again, you're actively consolidating tech systems, right? That's what you do. So what's the biggest challenge in modernizing the operations, so making it more modern? And have you had automation AI helping you with that significantly?
Yeah, definitely. I think, as I said before, we're probably a fast follower in this space, but we are making use of automation and AI technologies at larger and larger scale. And I think the one so far that's made the biggest impact, and that's close to what you also said before, is on pricing. So far, definitely on pricing. We've had dynamic pricing for a number of years now, and it's just making it much easier for us and more efficient to adjust our pricing to changing market needs and changing market conditions. And I think especially over the last year or the last months, the AI technology is just getting better and better, and we're getting better at at right pricing. So that's one. Then I think there's another one that's maybe a bit trivial, but languages.
Languages,
We're an international company, and the ability to just, it's become much easier for us to translate our content. To roll out more content in different languages, and first and foremost also handle more languages in our contact centers. We're relying more and more on live chat as a supplement to the chatbot, and we can have a Lithuanian agent handle 6 different languages at the same time, and that's so we can have expert knowledge in our contact centers dealing with languages and all because we have the real-time translation in our chat.
That's a wonderful example of like scale, right? Of innovation within operations, the languages. I like that a lot. And what would you say, the two of you, James and Valentin, in terms of pricing and demand prediction? What will AI shape the future of vacation rental? What will it look like? Is the highest price always the best price? Is that what we want to achieve?
Yeah, I mean, I think because price and value is the number one traveller need, again, I think that's going to continue. And, you know, I think traditionally Vrbo has not had enough merchandising and pricing and promotion levers on our platform. And thanks to getting to the end of our replatforming over the last few years, we're now able to launch this year 4 new pricing promotions, early booking, last minute, mobile, member-only deals. We're refreshing our new listing discount for both platform and integrated partners. And so, and we've had success on our weekly discount and monthly discount for the last few years. And so we see the conversion improvement from those promotions. I think the future is very exciting as it relates to the value presentation to the traveller, the deal perception, and allowing all of our partners to then adopt that and best present their properties and the value and the deals that they offer. And so I think what you'll see in the future will be more and more pricing-based promotions in VR. And traditionally, VR hasn't been very heavy on pricing-based promotions. And so I think that will become the norm as we look forward.
Yeah, very interesting. You want to add something?
Yeah, and I fully agree with you, and I think that's exactly where it's going to take us. The other route that we can take is, let's look at a more individualized type of travel, at a different experience that you can connect with it. Because if you have 2 cell phones next to one another, this product is one-to-one comparable. 2 iPhones 15 or whatever, sorry, don't blame me. But €5 will make the differentiation at a €1,000 product. So if we get to full comparability for the exact same vacation rental with this exact same service offers, yes, price will be the major differentiator. But we also can see a world where we can change more around the entire experience, from booking to the local experience, if it's insurances, if it's other additional services that we provide, that take away the pure focus from the price and just switch up the experience a bit, not just making it another product that you A/B compare and then make the decision. But I think with AI, this is a trend where this search and compare has the opportunity to move a bit to the back, and a completely holistic customer experience can move forward, and that offers a new variety of options also with regards to pricing.
Right. Martin, I saw you nodding. You agree?
Yes, I was nodding because, yeah, definitely I agree. I think, you know, I've spent the last 12 years of my life doing travel search, you know, from Momondo and Kayak for many years, and now with the Waze, and frankly, you know, you search for travel in the exact same way today as you did 12 years ago. You punch in the destination and a few dates, and then you hit a search button and you get some fairly static results back, and you have to choose from there. I think that's going to drastically change over the coming years, you know, just down the line of what you're saying. It's going to be much more conversational and fluid, and you'll get much better advice and a chance to get more of a unique experience.
Right. So it's going to be a bit more like a personal concierge, right? You say, this is my context, this is what I'm aiming for, what would you recommend? And it could be 3 destinations entirely different from each other, competing for your budget, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, OpenAI just last week launched Operator.
Right.
Anyone heard of this?
Yes.
Operator, which is a browser that will do the internet searches for you. They have a travel tab in there. Vrbo is in there in the travel tab. Hotels.com, Expedia. Very pleased that that's there. But now the challenge for our product and technology teams is designing their search and user experience not just for humans, but for AI agents as well. So now the discussions are about how do you optimize search for AI agents as well as humans. That will be a challenge for tech teams.
Absolutely, and we had this earlier in the session as well. There was an advice from Schubert Lu from Trip.com. He said, really check your content, right? Because the content is maybe optimized for a human, but it's not optimized for an agent. And when they do take control over bookings, then you might lose out, right? Yeah, I look at the time, there would be so much we could cover. So I want to make the best use of time, so I will have the same question for all of you, and you just give me your brief statement and your advice to the audience. If there's one technology trend that will shape the vacation rental industry in the next 3 to 5 years, you have to choose one, right? Not 5 or 3, one. Which one would you bet all your money on? Valentin.
Sorry, it maybe became obvious, but it's going to be AI and the support of AI in your daily operations. You can, with a modern AI bot, is available for customers 24/7. Yeah, it can answer the vast majority of questions. It's really the way on how you select the technology and how you connect it. But AI for sure will be the biggest advantage and the biggest game changer this industry will have ever seen with regards to you operating your business.
Right. What do you say, Martin? What's your top?
I'll be short then and a bit boring. It's AI.
It's Okay, let's see what James has in for us.
Yeah, I'll say something different, just to be contrary. At the moment, Vrbo is the main source of VR bookings on the Expedia platform of sites. But we have a huge opportunity through replatforming and through machine learning and through AI to get our VR properties booking on a brand Expedia and also our private label network, which is enormous, it's world leading, but it represents a very small portion of VR bookings today. And so for the next 3 to 5 years for us, the growth is going to come from, yes, optimizing Vrbo, but then getting VR booking on Expedia. Like Booking.com has gotten VR to book on their site. We want to do the same for Expedia. And then we'll make it VR book on our, I think it's 40,000 global affiliate network, which today has only just begun. So that's the exciting thing coming up for us.
Right, it sounds exciting. So I'm looking forward to have you back next year. And then we check in what's happened within 1 year, right? And everyone here, make sure to connect with the teams, right? So Home to Go has a beautiful booth in Hall 9. It's the stand 209. It's a lovely team. Make sure to pass by and have a chat with them. Also Hall 9, so it's worth the trip over there, is a race with your booth, right? The team is around, open for conversations. And again in Hall 9, so it should be on your destination for today, where to go to. Hall 9, 301 is the booth number for Expedia Group. Not only the Vrbo partners, but everyone from the Expedia network will be there. Yeah, thank you for this brilliant session. I really enjoyed this. Please, everyone, the CEO of Home to Go, Valentin Gruber. Thank you so much for being here. Martin Rofsing from Arrays and James Cassidy from Expedia Group.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.